The NaySayers is a podcast with two bozos giving opinions out there. By no stretch of the imagination are we professionals. Please don't sue us.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NaySayers. I'm one of your hosts, William Ruggio.
And I'm Shane Federley. By no stretch of the imagination are we professionals. We're just a couple guys giving you our opinions.
We are opinionists.
I like that.
So today's segment, we are calling it the top 10 at their best right now. So what's that mean? It doesn't mean they're going to the playoffs.
Right.
But they are playing extremely well, and I think they're in the top 10.
Right. And at their best now to me means it doesn't matter what they did last week. Doesn't matter what they're going to do next week. It's right now.
All right, so let's get into it.
Perfect.
So what I ranked number 10 is Detroit.
Okay. Why?
All right, so last 5 games, they've had a couple wins by some awful teams. You got the Chargers, the Bears, Raiders, but they did have some losses against the Packers and Ravens. So good team, good record, but we're not counting the whole season. So they're winning who they're supposed to be, but they're not one of those top tier. That's why I have them at 10.
I agree.
That's
I
it.
like that.
That's what you got.
I like. Well, I mean, like for 10, no, it's perfect because you guys just got demolished by the Packers. So right now, before they play this week versus the Saints, they're top 10, number 10. I like that.
Which it's a big game actually.
Yeah, it is a big game
for New Orleans for sure.
Yeah.
Detroit's probably making the playoffs, but what are they, 8-3 right now, right?
Yeah, they're third in the NFC. So
yeah, but that's a huge game for New Orleans, so they're going to really push it. It's going to be a pretty good game, I think.
Right, let's go Saints.
All right, so at 9 I have Houston. Yeah, they're huge.
They are pretty huge.
Listen, I know the Bills are out of the playoffs. I get it, but they're out. I know. They're probably out. They do have a little bit of a chance, but we're not going to talk about that right now because we're talking about.
So you're saying
Houston.
There's a chance?
There's a chance. So, but Houston and the Bills, they have this knockout punch. They are either Mike Tyson knocking you to the next city,
or me, like me,
or they're just not that great, right? Mm-hmm. So. I should put my glasses on, but they have big wins against like the Jaguars and teams like that, and they have a big game this week for the playoffs. Also, aren't they playing the Browns?
They play the Broncos.
Oh, Broncos!
That might be the second biggest game of the week.
That is a huge game.
Yeah.
Broncos are playing really good. We'll get to that actually in a little bit. Who do you have at 9?
Who do I have at 9? I have the Texans at 9. It's awfully similar to yours. So it'll change as we get higher, and you'll see why.
Oh yeah, because I know we're about to have a little bit of a brawl.
But I appreciate the Texans because they are playing some hot football. But
they're fun to watch.
They are. That game against the Jaguars was pretty intense. So they're about to play a red hot Broncos right now with a brand new Russell Wilson.
I bet you they're kicking themselves about Schultz. So
yeah,
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Cause
I'm not because he's on my fantasy football.
Well, they got Dell, they got Collins, they got all these people that can just score at any time. So then, so now number 8, I have Jacksonville.
Ooh.
So, they're playoff team right now. They're number 1 in their division.
Yep, 3 in the whole standings.
And they beat playoff teams. So here's the thing that we might talk about this later with another team, but they've beaten the teams that are in front of them. Right. So they've beaten the Colts twice. They've beaten Pittsburgh. Those are playoff teams, or in the contention anyways.
Right.
But they've also beat some horrible teams, so it's kind of hard to gauge. But did you know that they're the only team that's undefeated on the road?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so a little statistic there.
Hey,
only team.
We're an informative show as well, people.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I got there. Oh, they beat the Bills. They beat Atlanta. I do have to have my glasses. I am blind.
That is okay. You should use your glasses.
So yeah, Jacksonville at number 8.
I also have them at 8.
You do not.
I do.
That's weird.
It's weird.
We did not discuss this before.
We didn't, because we're definitely not like a organized show. So we're just going off. So we'll see what happens.
That's not, all right. So now I'm gonna do number 7, and I'm gonna do number 6 too.
Let's hear it. I want to hear it.
There's a reason why.
I bet there's a reason why.
So number 7, I have Dallas.
Ooh.
Number 6, I have Miami.
Wow.
So the reason why I'm putting them together, 7, 6, they could actually be vice versa,
right?
Is because they are both really good teams with really good statistics. Miami's statistics are better, so I have them ahead of Cowboys. But they just haven't beaten a team that I would say, is up there. Like in to make you a Super Bowl team, you got to beat somebody that's really good.
Right.
Like in the top 4, 5 teams. So what do you think about that?
So to be a Super Bowl team, you have to beat Super Bowl caliber teams in the playoffs. But
that's true.
But the Dolphins don't make the schedule. The Cowboys don't make the schedule. They play the teams that are given to them. And now, I know it looks bad on paper, but there's only one team that has put a whooping on the Dolphins. And you're wearing their sweatshirt.
Well, that was the knockout punch, right?
Right. We'll see week 18. Things change. The only team we've beaten that's above 500 are now the Broncos, who look lights out.
But here's the thing. So the Broncos weren't a winning team at that time.
No. But that was only week 3. So not many teams were winning teams yet.
They were actually 0-3.
Yeah, 0-3. So still. Yeah. So it's still 3 weeks into it.
So and then there was one other team that you beat that
was a 500 team at the time, was the Raiders, but now they're not because they stink.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Again, it counts in the playoffs. And with our schedule, I hate to say this because it's a statistics that's true. That stuttered a lot and was hard to hear. But anyways, Miami's undefeated at home.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that.
When the Dolphins keep winning because their schedule's pretty easy because we keep getting these easy teams to beat, people got to come to Miami and play Miami in the playoffs. So that right there makes us a Super Bowl contender.
You're saying you have an easy schedule the rest of the time?
Yeah, because we only have 2 more teams that are hard to beat. So
who's that? So Cowboys is going to be one of them.
Cowboys is one, and Baltimore is the other one.
And the team that Mike Tyson do out.
Yeah, who play, like they haven't ever held a football. I mean, it was a really good game against the Eagles. I'm not going to lie. Everybody gets one. So when you come to Miami where we're undefeated, it's going to be a completely different game.
If the Bills win out, which they could do.
They could.
We could be that last game might be huge.
I could also win the Powerball tonight. I could do that. I'm not saying it's going to happen. So we'll just wait and see what happens. But
those are very good points.
Dolphins.
All right, let's see.
Also, our numbers are different there.
By the way, I didn't throw this out there, but I call you guys the bully ball. So yes, you got your schedule and you're playing it. And let's see. Cowboys, they beat Washington, the Giants, and I get it. They're in their division. Jets aren't in their division, but New England, Carolina, right. That's who they beat. So it's hard to judge them when they're losing to the Eagles in San Francisco. Same with you guys. That's why it's hard to judge you because
our one terrible loss was to the Bills, who's in our division.
Right. But then you have Jets. I mean, you beat Jets, you beat New England, Carolina. They're just not good teams. Right. So it's bully ball. So when you guys score 70 points, and Denver just didn't have their crap together, or the Giants and all these other teams, it's hard to judge because those teams are just so bad.
Right.
That that's the only reason. Because I do think Dolphins.
But I mean, it'd be more to say that if it was close games against the teams that you're supposed to be, but we just blew them away.
Maybe, but then you have the Eagles.
Right.
We'll talk about them later, but they're just, even if I don't care who they play, they could play the high school Buccaneers right now, and they're only going to win by like 4.
Yeah. So the thing there, though, that was 14 points. We lost that because Tyreek Hill misses a touchdown. and then they got a touchdown called back. So that's that 2 touchdowns right there that makes it a tied game. Same thing with the Chiefs game. That pick 6 fumble, I guess you call it. We lost by a touchdown. So it's all self-inflicted wounds. It's not, oh, this team was better than us. It was, we lost to ourselves. The
Right.
only time we got smoked was by the Buffalo Jills. So, like, I'm just saying, yeah, everybody can say, it's, oh, who have you beaten and this and that. It doesn't matter. Because when it comes to playoffs, we're going to beat those teams because of our prolific offense, who's ranked 1 in everything except for one category, and I'm not going to talk about.
Which I will even say this: their defense is number 1, right?
Right.
Their defense. But I still strongly disagree.
Of course you do, and I like that. That's what makes the show good. Would you? Oh, yes, I agree. No, but we're different in 6 and 7 there because I have Miami way higher.
Of course you do.
Yeah, not because I'm a fan.
I strongly disagree with that also. All right, so moving on. So that was 7-6. 5, I have Kansas City.
Good. I have them 7th.
Kansas City?
Correct.
Please tell me why.
I'm glad you asked. I don't like them.
Oh.
So that's it. That's all.
That's
the only reason.
You just don't like them? Because the teams that they lost to are actually really good teams.
Except for the Lions.
I mean, they are.
I mean, they were. They were. You're right. So, but the teams that the Lions beat are
I agree with you right
Dolphins.
now. The Lions are not the greatest right now, but
Right.
at the time, they were pretty good. Actually, it was the first game, right?
Yeah. Without Travis Kelce. So, yeah.
Yeah. So actually, it was the first game, so they were kind of whatever, but they ended up being good through the season.
Correct.
So Kansas City, let's see. Well, as of late, the receivers aren't really doing that great. They haven't all year, really, other than Kelce. But they are running okay. I don't know why they're not running more.
Right. Pacheco's a pretty good runner.
Yeah, that's what's weird is that, okay, let's see, our passing game, obviously you have Mahomes, and he's probably the best quarterback out there. Arguably.
One of the best, yeah.
Arguably.
Yeah.
And he should be throwing a lot, but when your receivers are dropping and everything, you got to run Pacheco, who's actually averaging more than 4 yards per carry, so why wouldn't you?
Stud.
Yeah, it's hard to even say that they're not going to go to the Super Bowl again. They are the Super Bowl champs and have been there several times in the last years. I know you hate them. So, all right, moving on.
Thank you.
So number 4 is going to surprise everybody. Maybe not, but I have Denver.
Whoa. Wait, that is surprising.
It is surprising.
You have Denver at 4.
Here's the thing, though, because this is why they're at their best right now.
Right.
Their last few games, right? Last 5 games are against. They're undefeated in the last 5 games.
Wow.
They have played the Browns, who have one of the best defense, top 5 defenses. Mm-hmm. The Vikings, who are kind of struggled as of late, but
back and forth.
Yeah, they're back and forth. They're pretty decent. The Bills, and I know they suck right now too, but they have that Mike Tyson punch where everybody still thinks the Bills are up there, even though their record says otherwise.
They might lose the bye week. It could happen.
The Chiefs, or we just talked about,
right. Divisional win, yeah,
and the Packers, but
Packers are good. They're just not consistent. So I agree.
That's the thing. Denver is on fire right now.
Yeah.
And they're playing Houston. Everybody is picking Houston. I am not picking Houston.
Wow.
I am picking Denver. I think they're actually going to beat them up pretty bad.
Really?
Their defense is really good, and the offense is just hot right now.
Right, yeah.
I'm not saying they're like the greatest offense ever, but their defense is so good that if the offense is just what they're doing, which is very good still.
What you need, yeah.
I think they're going to beat Houston pretty bad.
I think Houston's going to win. But I agree, and I like your points a lot.
Now, how many, what's the point?
I think it might be 3.
Okay, so close game then.
Yeah, close game.
Which, if we were talking about this even 3 or 4 games ago, we would have been like, it's an easy win.
Right.
You know, but no, not anymore. All right, so number 3, I have Ravens.
Whoa.
Everybody's having them at number 1, and I get it. They are a very good team. As a matter of fact, they are the number 1 rushing offense. Number 2 scoring defense.
Wow.
That's a weird one that I found out about. Their passing rating is in the top 5 because they always talk about his legs.
Imagine that.
What?
Just where they've come from. All of the naysayers, if you would, out there, just saying some things about Lamar and where he's coming. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, yeah, because nobody really talks about that. They talk
Right.
about their running,
Yeah.
but in all actuality,
The
his
dude can swing
passing.
it.
Yeah, he can pass.
Mhm.
He's actually very good.
He's a passer.
He is a passer. So yeah, that's who I have number 3. I don't know if you agree with that or not. Because where did you have? I don't know if we've been talking about your where did you have Miami or?
Well, we're not there yet.
Oh, okay, but I mean we're at our.
All right, so my number 3 then would have been 49ers.
Okay.
4 would have been, because you had the Broncos there, were the Ravens for me. Number 2 was the Eagles.
Okay.
Number 1 was the Dolphins.
All right. So we'll keep going. We'll keep going. So that's 3. You have anything to add for the Ravens or just?
I think the huge test for a lot of these teams is coming in the next few weeks. Now,
Ravens Miami actually is going to come
soon.
So
rest up for your bye week, Ravens. You're going to need it. So that's all I have to say.
Oh, okay. All right. So number 2, I have Philly. They just find ways to win.
They do.
Whether it's paying off the refs or not, they find a way to win.
Yeah, they totally, unloaded a lot of money to those refs during the Dolphins game. So we're not going to get into that. It's in the past.
You know what's good about them, other than they just find ways to win. By the way, when I'm talking about the refs, by the way, so I'm not just talking about the Bills game, which was horrible calling. I saw the same thing happen with the Chiefs,
right,
and a couple other teams that were just like, I don't understand why they don't call them, but whatever. So
that's a different episode.
Yeah. But also, that coach is very good at time management.
He is.
He knows when to call timeouts when he's supposed to.
Yep.
Which seems like an easy, simple thing, but our coach can't figure it out. So
he's really good at shit talking too. He is. He's really good at it. Like when he went to the Chiefs Stadium and he's just like, I can't hear you, screams to the fans. That's what the football culture needs.
Yeah.
More Sirianni.
Yeah. So the Eagles, that's where I have the Eagles, number 2. And they're most likely going to the Super Bowl again.
Well,
I know. I think there's one team that could beat them, and that's my number 1 team, and that's San Francisco.
And guess what? They play each other
this week. But I'm going to say this though: it's possible the Eagles are going to beat them right now, but then the playoffs is going to be a different story.
Perfect. Now, can I say one thing about this?
Yeah,
we're in flex season. You can start flexing these games out of here. Perfect opportunity to flex the 49ers and Eagles to Monday night. I don't know why you didn't. You should have.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. They put a different. Who'd they put in there?
I believe it's the Bengals.
Yeah.
I don't have that right in front of me, and I don't know why. But anyways, it should have been flexed, but it's still a 4:25 game. And sometimes the 4:00 games do well to watch, because you're going to watch the Dolphins just blow the doors off the Commanders at 1. And then boom, you can slide right in the 49ers-Eagles game and see what happens.
Well, and that's the thing, 49ers. So just to talk about them a little bit, because I do have them number 1.
Whoa.
Is they beat in the last 3 games Jacksonville, which is
that's good,
top 10 team, right? Mm-hmm. Tampa Bay, which they are still in the hunt for the playoffs,
and they're going to get it.
They're
going to get it, Billy.
I don't know if I have them getting it or not. I don't think so.
They play the Panthers.
Okay, this week.
But you know who's going to win that game?
Who?
The Panthers. You know why?
Why?
Because anytime a head coach gets fired, and the next week the team wins, it's 100% successful. Don't quote me on the odds, but it is. Make it happen.
All right. And they also beat Seattle.
Seattle stinks.
They don't stink, though. Really?
They're not. They're 6-6. They stink it. Their uniforms.
They are 6-6 now, but that's because they just played the Cowboys. And man, did they give them a run for their money.
They did. And they helped me win some money. So I guess I hate them less.
And I think they're going to make the playoffs.
It's possible. But
Seahawks. I do think they are because their schedule is favorable to
Right,
them.
more
Yes,
favorable.
we all thought they were going to lose to the Cowboys, and I still looked at it and said
Right.
Seahawks are going to make the playoffs.
which is possible too, because say the Vikings, they're not playing the best.
Mhm.
If they continue to slope, that's
That makes it
Seahawks
easier.
can move up.
Yeah.
So I just personally would like to see the Buccaneers get into that spot because Baker deserves it.
Okay.
That's it. That's the
I
only
like
reason.
that.
I mean, it'll probably be the Packers that slide into there, maybe the Rams, but it's just there's a lot of football left and it's getting exciting. But we also have to thank the football gods for football at all. So
By the way, so just keep going on San Francisco. I have one more little thing to put out there. So these 3 games I'm talking about were the last 3 games, and not only did they win, they kind of put a stomping on these teams. So Jaguars, who are the number 1 in their division, 34-3.
wow.
So they killed them. Tampa Bay 27-14. That's a pretty big stomp. Seattle 31-13. You know what the difference was? San Francisco was good anyways throughout the season.
Mhm.
The difference, you got to know. You know?
I know.
Chase Young.
Wow.
He came on the team,
On Thanksgiving.
played against the Jacksonville, and they whooped him. And they've whooped every team since. And I think the one team that could beat Philly, because Philly is, even though they're winning, it seems like they're struggling a little bit. And it's the Bills gave them a run for their money because they had the 4 pass rushers. These guys are definitely better than the Bills on the front 4, and they could get to Hurts. And that could be the difference. You might be throwing it quicker to AJ Brown or something. They're not connecting very well because he's going to be rushed so much, and that's why I think San Francisco is number 1. Will they show it in this game this week? I think they'll show it. It'll be a really good game, and I would take San Fran with the 3.5 points. That's unless it's changed. It was 3.5.
Yeah. So again, don't quote us. We're not professionals.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is, again, don't quote us on this because I could be way wrong. The Eagles have a secret weapon.
It was a secret weapon.
They haven't used him yet. Julio Jones.
Actually, they have used him. He just hasn't done anything.
Right. And I think in these next, maybe starting Sunday, he's going to get 100 yards.
I mean, wow. Okay.
Don't quote me, but try it.
That would be a good bet. You know, like if you really think that,
I do.
You could probably put $5 on it and win a good chunk of money.
Right. Try it. And if you do, go ahead, like, subscribe, and just give us a shout out. Whatever you do. So that'd be cool.
All right. Well, that's our list. And wait, you didn't talk about your Miami Dolphins.
Well, I don't need to. They speak for themselves. They're the greatest team in the NFL. But I want to ask you a question. What's your upset of the week?
I do actually have that. Weirdly enough, on the next page.
Weirdly enough, like it was organized, but it wasn't.
It actually wasn't. That's supposed to be a different segment, but that's okay.
I just threw it out there.
We'll get it in there.
Do that.
So I have a few teams that could be upsets.
Just give me one, and then
let me see. Let me look at these. I have 4. We could talk about them, but I'll give you my favorite one right now. Steelers. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Cardinals.
Ooh.
Cardinals are gonna upset the Steelers, which is gonna screw up their playoff hopes a little bit,
and maybe help the Bills.
Yes, actually.
Whoa,
that would that would help them.
Wow,
doesn't matter. The Bills have to win. Pretty much win out.
1 week at a time.
I know, but yes, I guess that would help in the long run. But I do think the Cardinals are going to beat the Steelers. That's my biggest one.
That's pretty cool.
What do you got?
It's not much of an upset, but I think that the Dolphins will beat the Commanders. And honestly,
upset.
I know. The Colts-Titans game, it's close, so it's not really an upset, but I think Tennessee is going to beat the Colts, and that'll also help.
Oh, no, that's a huge upset.
Right.
Titans are out.
Right.
Colts need to win to stay in the playoffs. That is a huge one. I don't even know if I have that one.
Right. Oops.
No, that's good. That's a good one. I actually think the Jets might be the Falcons.
They would, too. Just to do this stupid stuff, they would.
Well, I mean,
I don't think the Jets should win another game for the rest of the season.
They shouldn't. They're stupid.
Right.
That would be,
you know what I mean?
That would be stupid.
Oops.
But
same thing with the Patriots, but they're going to.
Browns, Rams. I think the Browns are going to beat them, so I don't think that's an upset.
Yeah, because Joe Falco's back. Flacco. I'm not good with words and names, but he's back.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to help him.
I think it's better than GTR because he got banged up and Deshaun's out, so they just need a guy.
The other one I wrote down was Bengals, Jaguars.
Ooh, Bengals. Jake Browning.
I think Jaguars are still going to win.
Oh.
But because of that, because they don't have their quarterback, Bengals don't. But it could be one of those weird. Maybe they'll start running again. I mean, they got a good running back. I don't know why they're not using him.
Right. He helped me win a fantasy football league once. They should use him.
Yeah.
But
they should. So yeah, those are the things since you asked. Actually, big games this week. We did this earlier, and I just want to throw this out there. I had a buddy named Brian also give us his take. The Cowboys Seahawks. You both went 1-1 because how we're doing it is, are they going to win? Who's going to win the game? Right. Everybody picked the Cowboys. So you and Brian had that win. Mm-hmm. But then we did it by the points, and I believe the point spread was 8.5 at the time.
Yeah.
And so I'm the only one that got that because I actually they only won by 6. So right. I actually went the other route.
Bet responsibly.
Yeah. So now with the Broncos and Texans, you said Houston.
I did.
Okay. Now, shoot. Can we look up the points right now?
We can't.
Oh, shoot. What was it? I can't remember.
Right.
All right. So we'll just go with outright, and then we'll off screen we'll go with the points if we got to look it up. We'll get back to you on that. But you're going with Texans. I'm going with Broncos.
What's by how many?
Oh, we could do that. That will tell us. Yeah. So that's a good one. What do you think?
I think I said it earlier, by a field goal, but I'm gonna change my mind to 6. So
that's funny. I'm gonna say Broncos. Well, I would take if it was 3.5, I would still take Broncos.
Okay.
All right. And then 49ers, Eagles.
Eagles by a touchdown.
Wow. Okay. By a touchdown. I'm going to say Niners by 6.
Ooh.
And we'll keep track of this. You say by 7. All right, cool. So that's what I call that the baller's choice of the week.
Ooh.
For when we actually do segments like that where we're picking teams,
And we're gonna do that soon. So tune in. Watch us.
Yeah, so that's it. So that's our top 10 right now. And our baller's choice.
At their best.
At their best.
Which the Dolphins are.
Thanks for watching, guys.
There, I smiled. We did it.